Hello, everybody. Let's try this again with the good microphone setup. I'm Brian Nemhauser. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at HawkBlogger. And this is your Seahawks 7, all your Seahawks daily news in 7 minutes or less. Let's get right to it. Top of the show, most important thing is that today is the day, training camp day 1, the first day of Mike McDonald's tenure as a head coach in training camp. His first training camp, Byron Murphy's first training camp, Christian Haynes' first training camp, and on down the line. So big day for the Seahawks in turning over a new leaf, so to speak, and excited to be there. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell to get notified on this channel, as I will have a ton of training camp coverage coming for you over the next few weeks. Next, also in the division related to your Seahawks, there was a terrific interview with Robert Mays of The Athletic did with Sean McVay. Highly recommend you check out the full interview. But there was something that the Rams coach said about your head coach, Mike McDonald, and here is what it was.
Offense that was pushing things forward and the defense is pushing things forward. He's now in your division, which, sorry about that.
Yeah, I know. You know what? I love it as a competitor, but the respect that I have for McDonald, I'm like, damn.
So now we have 4 or 5 teams that are going to run that defense.
Yeah.
It feels like every couple of years we get a new defense to sure. Why do you feel like that system is now something that people are trying to steal from, and what makes it difficult?
Well, it's the teams that are the best, usually get mimicked and emulated and really studied hard. And so you say, why were they successful? Here's the thing I would say going into that game. I got a ton of respect for Mike McDaniel and their coaching staff and those players that brought the stuff to life. What I think when you watch that team, there was a clear-cut identity. There was an understanding of the intent of what he was calling and how they could execute it. There was a great idea and understanding of how to utilize their personnel. I thought they rushed 4 as 1 as well as anybody. I mean, like they had a great ability to be able to play off one another. I thought Mike did a great job of mixing in, pressures, understanding situations, understanding how to attack protections. Kyle Hamilton, I think, is one of the ultimate chess pieces. I love that guy. He and I went to the same high school, but I think he's such a baller. I thought they did a great job of playing coverages where you're like, I don't know what the hell I'm going against because of the way they're teaching guys. They teach an understanding of how route concepts distribute and how you don't have to work as hard throughout the course of the down to allow things to be able to progress.
That's just a snippet. There is much more, not all about Mike McDonald, but a great interview. I got to say, unfortunately for me, I found myself liking Sean McVay after this interview. A lot of reflection from him, a lot of insight, a lot of human stuff in there. Really recommend you listen to the whole episode with Robert Mays on the Athletic podcast. Next, let's walk around the rest of the NFL, some things that are related or things to monitor for the Seahawks. The Seahawks week 3 opponent is the Miami Dolphins. They're already banged up a little bit with Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips, likely to start the season on PUP. But additionally, Odell Beckham Jr. and David Long, their starting linebacker, next to Jordan Brooks, both reported to camp yesterday and are put on PUP as well. So something to monitor as an early season game for the Seahawks. Next, we've talked about inside linebacker news. If you missed it yesterday, Tyrell Dodson and Jerome Baker are healthy, passed their physical, and will be cleared for practice. So great news for the Seahawks there to have both of those guys back on the field. But inside linebacker still is a position of some concern from a depth perspective. It's still a position we will monitor from in terms of whether the Seahawks will make a move to add more depth. One player to watch, Shaq Thompson from the Carolina Panthers, on the last year of his deal, renegotiated his contract, a more veteran player, probably not part of their long-term plans. And the Panthers are now having some pretty significant issues injury-wise on their edge position. They brought in Carl Lawson, Yannick Ngakoue for tryouts. Watch later in camp if Darrell Taylor becomes a potential trade option with the Panthers for a guy like Shaq Thompson. Could be a possibility. Dan Morgan, John Schneider know each other well. Just something to watch. Next, around the NFC West, Tyler Higbee of the Rams will start on PUP. He's recovering from a serious knee injury. Also for the Rams, Matthew Stafford reports to camp after having a one-day contract squabble with the team. So he is back after his contract was adjusted. In San Francisco, the 49ers, Brandon Ayuk reports. This is pretty big news. He does show, unlike CeeDee Lamb, unlike Hassan Reddick, he does not hold out. This probably increases the chances that he will negotiate a deal with the 49ers, and they will figure something out there. However, Ricky Pearsall Jr., their first-round pick, the receiver, hurt his hamstring during training between minicamp and training camp. He will start training camp on the NFI list. Tyler Hufanga, their all-pro safety, Dre Greenlaw, their starting linebacker, will start training camp on the PUP list. Other things to note, there was one other thing, and it's escaping me at the moment. But those are the big pieces of news for Seahawks today in less than 7 minutes. If you haven't already, please give the show a like and click subscribe. I will have a ton of Seahawks news for you coming out of camp starting today. So be sure that you have all the settings there, all the notifications for when that stuff goes live, because it will be at various times throughout the day. Also, tonight, Stacey Ross joins us on Real Hawk Talk, 7 p.m. Pacific. Be sure to be there for that. It's going to be great. I will be back with Hawk Blogger Mornings here in just a little bit. We'll talk about things in more depth. And again, patreon.com/hawkblogger, or join as a YouTube member. The links are in the description of the video. That is your Seahawks 7 for July 24th, 2024. See you all in just a bit.